many years ago. I think it might have been 2013, 14, thereabouts, when Virat Kohli's star was on the ascendant. Rahul Dravid had just retired. He was in the media, and he said something very interesting to me. We were talking about the future of Test match cricket, about whether white ball cricket would take over T20. And he said, if Virat Kohli loves Test cricket, then the next generation will love Test cricket because they will want to be like him. Virat Kohli got the love and the pride of playing Test match cricket from a Rahul Dravid or a Tendulkar. And if today people like Shubman Gill and Yashasvi Jaiswal want to make a name for themselves in Test cricket, then that is because of Virat Kohli, because he imbibed his love from one generation, but he told the next generation why Test cricket was so important, why Test cricket was actually quite cool, why the challenge was something that they simply had to embrace. And that is what Test cricket will be perennially grateful to Virat Kohli for. It's not just in India. I've gone abroad. I've seen the fascination with which people look at Virat Kohli, and I've seen the respect with which people say, but Virat Kohli loves Test match cricket. He got it from Tendulkar and he's passed it on to Shubman Gill. I remember when Tendulkar finished, or it might have been the World Cup actually, when he picked up Tendulkar and said, for so many years he's been carrying India on his shoulders. It's time we carried him. I would have loved Virat Kohli to have finished his career in front of a packed stadium with Shubman Gill carrying him on his shoulders. And that, to my mind, would have been the gentle passing of the baton, much like it was from Tendulkar to Kohli, and then from Kohli, hopefully, as I said, to Shubman Gill. What made Kohli very different from everybody else was his personal work ethic. The story is known about Kohli looking into a mirror sometime in 2012 when he's already been a player of some repute and saying, if I look like this, can I become the player I want to be? And then started a work ethic so rigorous that it was almost scary. His diet, his exercise, his discipline. Gone was the West Delhi boy. Gone was the Chole Bhature guy. And in his place was a world-class fit athlete who was trying to peg himself with a Djokovic in a sport that wasn't quite like tennis. And then you see what that did to him. His fitness and his work ethic, I think, took Virat Kohli to where I don't think Virat Kohli himself thought he would go, as he's admitted very recently in that RCB video, where he thought initially, he thought, do I really belong? And then he went 2016 to 2019. When a lot of you watching this get older, you want to tell a younger generation just how good Virat Kohli was. Show them the numbers. Pick any match from 2016 to 2019. White ball, red ball, doesn't matter. It'll just tell you where Virat Kohli was. I thought 2018 in England was fantastic. I thought his 700s in Australia tell the story. The Aussies like telling me that there's a bit of an Aussie in Virat. I said, no, that is the new India that Virat Kohli has come to symbolize. The Aussies hated him for his guts, for his competitiveness. And in hating him, they loved him more than any other part in the world because they just love people who stand up to him. And those hundreds that he had, starting with the first two in Adelaide, where he announced himself in such style, to me, define Virat Kohli. And then the story I've told so often. 2021 in England. You've only got 60 overs to get them out. And India attacked England. India surrounded the England batters. They were in their face. It was something that my generation hadn't seen. An Indian captain egging his team on to be in your face and doing it with pace, because Virat Kohli loved pace in much the manner that MS Dhoni loved spin. And see the performances of the fast bowlers under him. Not just Jasprit Bumrah. Jasprit Bumrah, the class to himself, Siraj, Shami, but especially Ishant Sharma and Umesh Yadav. Look at those numbers. We don't actually realize just how powerful those numbers are. And that was Virat Kohli backing them all the way. There was a time when he averaged 55. I remember doing a blog on CricBuzz where I tried to outline how he would get to 100 international hundreds. It wasn't to be. Things change. We don't write our own scripts. Maybe Virat Kohli is unhappy. Maybe the eyes are not what they are. Maybe the hunger within him has subsided. We don't know. But the fact is that we can now look back and talk about Virat Kohli as one of the greats. I think his priorities have changed too. When you have two children, it's just different. I've had two children. I know how priorities change. And I think that is where Virat Kohli was headed. And I don't think we should dispute that. My one thing with Virat Kohli, though, it was a strength, and what I perceived as a weakness was I think he worried too much about what people were saying about him, and sometimes that manifested in different ways. But I realized later that that was what Virat Kohli needed to gee him on. He needed to believe the world was against him. He needed this opponent to constantly be up against. He needed this rival. He needed this conflict, whether it was a player in the opposition, whether it was what someone had said about him, whether it was the match situation. Because when he got into that conflict zone, then there was Virat Kohli rising up. And I think he was at his best when all his senses, all his emotions were flowing in that one direction and he was taking somebody on. That is what made him the greatest chaser. That's white ball cricket, I know, but I'm just trying to tell you why Virat Kohli was the person he was in situations like those. You wish Virat Kohli well. He's left a legacy that very, very few in Test cricket can. And he'll be missed. Suddenly there's no Ravichandran Ashwin. Suddenly there's no Rohit Sharma. There's no Chiteshwar Pujara. There's no Ajinkya Rahane. But there is no Virat Kohli. Virat Kohli was box office, drew people in. You always wanted to see what he was going. So wish you well, Virat. And thank you very much for all that you did for the game that we love, which is Test cricket.